Edward returned home a few days earlier than he had planned. His footsteps echoed through the empty corridor, and he longed for only one thing: silence after endless meetings, routine handshakes, and artificial smiles. He hoped to find his house in its usual stillness, where every object was in its place, where order served as his only protection from the chaos of the outside world. But instead, he was met with an unexpected sound, a quiet murmur, like the sleepy sighs of children. In the kitchen, where sterile brightness usually reigned, he saw Maria. The housekeeper stood by the table, her movements carrying both weariness and inner focus. On her chest, in a sling, 2 infants slept. Their tiny hands clung to the fabric as if it were their only anchor in the world. These children were orphans. Their mother had died suddenly, leaving them in silent confusion. Their father had vanished, as if dissolved into the mist. And their elderly grandmother, bent with age, could barely care for them. Maria had no choice. She brought them here, into a stranger's house, because otherwise they faced a defenseless emptiness. Edward's first impulse was outrage, to drive her out, to restore the order he was used to. He was a man of rules, accustomed to keeping everything under control. His life was built on a strict system, with no room for others' mistakes. But his gaze lingered on the woman who, despite the shadows under her eyes and the weight of her worries, held the children as if her embrace were the only shield against a destructive world. He froze. There was no defiance in this, no audacity. It was despair, interwoven with loyalty, with a promise she had once made to her sister. In just 3 days, she had broken all his rules, yet at the same time she had preserved something far more meaningful: the life and dignity of a small family that had no one else to turn to. Edward suddenly realized that his world of influential colleagues, contracts, and rigid boundaries was often lacking the very strength that now stood before him in the form of a weary woman. The strength to sacrifice oneself for others. He did not forgive her immediately. Inside him, discipline clashed with the unfamiliar feeling of compassion. But neither did he cast her out. Instead of punishment, he chose to help. Not the children directly, for he knew he did not know how to be near them. But he could support Maria, her mother, her small fragile world, where every morning was a struggle for survival, not for reputation. That evening, silence returned to the house, but its nature had changed. It was no longer lifeless emptiness. It carried the breathing of sleeping children, the soft rustle of care, the invisible thread connecting people whom fate had brought together under one roof. And for the first time in a long while, Edward felt that wealth was not measured by money and deals, but by those who choose not to abandon in their time of need.